South Carolina's second execution by firing squad. Justice or barbarity? South Carolina is poised to execute Mikal Mahdi by firing squad, reigniting the debate over capital punishment and its methods. Is this a just sentence for a heinous crime, or a descent into state-sanctioned barbarity? Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. The execution of Mikal Mahdi will follow a chillingly precise procedure. Unlike some historical executions, there will be no countdown, no final warning. A stark target, a red bullseye, will be affixed to Mahdi's chest, marking the point of aim for the firing squad. He will be dressed in simple black jogging pants and a t-shirt, a stark contrast to the gravity of the moment. Mahdi himself chose the firing squad, a decision made in the face of the state's other options, lethal injection or electrocution. This choice adds another layer of complexity to an already fraught situation. Mikal Mahdi was convicted of the 2004 murder of Orangeburg Public Safety Officer James Myers. The crime was brutal, a calculated act of violence that shocked the community. Officer Myers was ambushed, shot multiple times in a premeditated attack. The details of the crime paint a picture of a cold and ruthless killer. Prior to Myers' murder, Mahdi had already committed another murder, taking the life of a store clerk in North Carolina. His history reveals a pattern of violence and disregard for human life. Before the murder, Mahdi stole a vehicle at gunpoint in Columbia, South Carolina. He was desperate and willing to use extreme violence to get what he wanted. Unable to buy gas, Mahdi hid in Officer Myers' shed, setting the stage for the tragic encounter. This seemingly random act of desperation led to a devastating loss. Officer Myers' body was later found burned inside the shed, a gruesome attempt to conceal the crime. The brutality of the act underscores the depravity of the perpetrator. Mahdi was eventually apprehended in Florida, driving Officer Myers' stolen police truck. His attempt to flee justice was ultimately unsuccessful. In addition to the murder of the store clerk, Mahdi also pleaded guilty to shooting Christopher Boggs in North Carolina. This further solidified his image as a dangerous and violent individual. For the shooting of Boggs, Mahdi was sentenced to life in prison, a sentence he was already serving at the time of his death sentence for Myers' murder. This raises questions about the necessity of the death penalty in this case. The execution will be carried out by a firing squad comprised of 3 volunteer prison employees. These individuals will bear the responsibility of ending a human life. The shooters will be positioned approximately 15 feet away from Mahdi, a distance that emphasizes the calculated nature of the act. This is not a battlefield, but a controlled environment designed for execution. Before the execution proceeds, the warden will confirm with the Governor and Attorney General's office that there are no legal impediments. This is a crucial step to ensure the execution is carried out lawfully. Mahdi will be strapped to a chair in the death chamber, a scene reminiscent of historical executions. This image is a stark reminder of the power of the state over the individual. The curtain to the witness room will then open, exposing Mahdi to those who have come to observe his final moments. This act of public display is intended to serve as a deterrent. Mahdi will be given the opportunity to make a final statement, a chance to speak his last words before facing death. This is a moment of profound significance, both for the condemned and for those who witness it. A hood will be placed over Mahdi's head, obscuring his face and dehumanizing him in his final moments. This act further distances the executioners from the human being they are about to kill. Without warning, the shots will be fired, ending Mahdi's life. The suddenness of the act is designed to minimize suffering, but its effectiveness is a matter of debate. A doctor will then confirm Mahdi's death, a clinical pronouncement that marks the end of his life. This is a cold and detached act, devoid of emotion. Finally, witnesses will sign an official document, acknowledging that they have observed the execution. This act serves as a formal record of the event. Details about the firing squad and their procedures are largely shrouded in secrecy, thanks to a 2023 Shield law. This lack of transparency raises concerns about accountability and oversight. The state will use .308 caliber Winchester, 110 grain tap urban ammunition. This specific type of ammunition is designed for a particular purpose. This ammunition is designed to fragment upon impact, causing maximum damage to the target. The choice of this ammunition reveals the state's intent to ensure a swift and certain death. The intended target is the heart, with the goal of causing immediate and irreversible damage. The precision and lethality of the ammunition are chillingly efficient. Medical experts disagree on the potential for pain during an execution by firing squad. This disagreement highlights the uncertainty surrounding the human experience of death. Medical experts also disagree on the speed of unconsciousness following the shots. The lack of consensus underscores the difficulty of understanding the subjective experience of dying. The state's expert argues that immediate unconsciousness results from the damage to the heart. This is the justification used to claim the method is humane. However, the inmate's expert contends that breathing becomes painful due to cracked ribs, suggesting a prolonged period of suffering. This challenges the state's claim of a painless death. Furthermore, damaged hearts can continue to pump blood, potentially prolonging the process of death and increasing the risk of suffering. This raises serious ethical concerns about the method's humanity. The protocol does not specify what happens if the inmate survives the initial shots. This lack of a clear contingency plan is deeply troubling. A doctor testified that the squad could fire again if necessary, but the absence of a formal protocol leaves room for error and potential cruelty. This ambiguity raises serious questions about the state's preparedness for unforeseen circumstances. The possibility of a botched execution, where the inmate survives the initial volley, is a horrifying prospect. The lack of a clear plan to address this scenario is unacceptable. The potential for prolonged suffering and a second round of gunfire raises serious ethical and moral questions about the firing squad as a method of execution. Is this truly a humane way to administer capital punishment? This execution, and the method by which it will be carried out, demands scrutiny. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about justice, retribution, and the role of the state in taking a human life. We must ask ourselves, does this execution truly serve justice, or does it simply perpetuate a cycle of violence? Is this a necessary punishment, or a barbaric act that diminishes us all? The answers to these questions are not easy, but they are essential if we are to have a meaningful conversation about capital punishment in the 21st century. The execution of Mikal Mahdi is not just about one man, it is about the kind of society we want to be. The world is watching. What message are we sending? Call to action. This execution demands our attention and action. Research the death penalty in your state and contact your elected officials to voice your concerns. Support organizations working to reform the criminal justice system and advocate for alternatives to capital punishment. Share this video to raise awareness and spark conversation. Let's work together to create a more just and humane society.